All right, everybody, listen up. Today is going to be a very special conversation. Most investors think that their biggest problem it's marketing, leads or money, but it's not. The real problem, it's the 6 inches between your ears, and that is what's keeping you from growing your business or for some of you, keeping you from keeping you from getting started. Listen, it's fear, hesitation, overthinking, self doubt. I get it. The same mental patterns that keep investors stuck doing the same deals at the same level year after year. But what if you could actually rewire the way that your brain works? Not with motivation, not with hype, actual neuroscience. So today we're talking to Alejandra Perry. She is an incredible mother, wife, and businesswoman who has spent years studying mindset through the lens of neuroscience and neuroplasticity, the science behind how the brain really forms patterns and how we can literally retrain it to think, act, and perform differently. And today she is breaking down how entrepreneurs and investors can train their brain to eliminate those limiting beliefs that handle that pressure and operate at a completely different level. So if you've ever felt like you want to know what to do, but something in your mind is keeping you from achieving all of the things you want, this conversation is going to hit home. Welcome to the Closers Club, where real investors talk about what actually moves the needle, the information that you can take today to implement into your business and achieve the growth that you are looking for. Alejandra, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. Let's jump right in. In this business, we talk a lot about those tactics, right? The marketing, acquisition, sales, but not nearly enough about the mental wiring that just really drives the top performance. So let me start here. For somebody who's just hearing the word neuroplasticity, which it's hard enough to say, if they're hearing that for the first time, what does it actually mean? And how does it affect the way that investors and entrepreneurs operate day to day?
Thank you so much for having me here, David.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here today. And this is such an important topic. I feel like every single investor, every single person that has a business needs
Hmm.
to know how to rewire themselves. They need to
Hmm.
know how to rewire their brain to become successful. And we're not talking here only about money. You need
Hmm.
to learn how to rewire your brain in all the areas of your life. We're talking family, we're talking marriage, we're talking business, we're talking fitness.
Hmm.
This literally applies for every single thing that you need to know, like that you need to do in your life. And
Hmm.
I'm telling you from experience because, as you
Yeah.
know, I am married to a really high level entrepreneur. And for
You've
me,
straight you have straightened him right out. Let me just tell you. Since he met you, he's done nothing but grow. So I think this definitely works.
and this is definitely the reason why. And I really want to explain to you like how this
Yeah.
happened, how he's to the levels where he is right now. Because when I met
Astonishing.
him, let me tell you, he was just getting started. He wasn't
Yeah.
successful, but he was only like business savvy. Obviously, he's a very smart man, but
Love
he
that.
wasn't using neuroplasticity. And we're going to get into
Hmm.
that in a second. He
Okay.
wasn't using neuroplasticity to apply or rewire his brain in every single area of his life. We're talking, he literally leveled up in the last 5 years. I've been with this
Oh
man
my
for
gosh.
5 years. And
He's
for the,
awesome. I love him and love you too. You guys are
you
amazing.
know him longer than I do. So
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
exactly who was Nick Perry before this whole thing happened, before
Yeah. He's a
4 years.
legend in our business.
Exactly. And you wonder why somebody like that, he's just like a regular guy, like
Yeah.
he's not different than you and me, but he has a very powerful brain. And I want to explain to you how, or what are those qualities that a high level entrepreneur needs to have in order to make some real damage in the industry. We're talking
Yeah.
here how to become a multimillionaire, how to get a lot of deals a month. He's making 60 deals a month, in
Right.
average. So,
Right.
how does a normal person, or let's say somebody that is getting started in this business, get to that freaking level? It's not by magic. I can tell you, it's
Right.
not by luck. It's brain rewiring. And we're going to talk about neuroplasticity. You asked me, what is neuroplasticity? I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you, it's the ability that your brain has to rewire itself. The ability that you have, like you are in control. You're in control of your reality. You're in control of your emotions. You're in control of what's the outcome, who you want to become. And 100%, a lot of people are not even conscious that thought alone can literally
Right.
rewire your brain to to get to the reality that you want. We all want to be rich. I feel like everybody that is on your team, everybody that is on your coaching, everybody wants to make
Sure.
money, right? That's why they're
Yeah.
doing wholesale real estate. But not a lot of people apply neuroplasticity to get there. And this is something that you need to learn. And I'm gonna just be straight up to you.
Let's do it.
Olympic medal, gold Olympic medalist. This is not my first language, by the way, so like bear with me.
Your first language is better than all, or this language is for you is better than all of my other languages. So you're fantastic.
I can do this like way better in Spanish, but that's not the point. No, but gold
You'd
Olympic
bring us a whole
medalist.
different audience. It'd be probably great.
Yeah, we can do it in Spanish too if you want. But yes, going back to the topic that we're talking, like why like high level entrepreneurs are getting there, like so like it seems effortlessly, but it's really not. It's all
Right.
brain rewiring. I don't know if you know about Eileen Gu.
I
Eileen Gu
don't.
is gold Olympic medalist. She's absolutely amazing. She's only 22 years old, and she's talking how neuroplasticity changed her life to become the
Mhm.
person who she is right now. I think she has like 6 Olympic medal, like gold
Wow.
Olympic medals right now. Like she's only 22 years old, and she is blaming neuroplasticity to her success. And she's
Mhm.
basically explaining to people, I am very critical on my own thinking. I
Sure.
like break down all the processes, like where am I, like how am I thinking like that? Why am I affected this way? Like she writes down her emotions to the point that she is so like aware of her brain and her thought process that this is the one thing that is allowing her to become that star that she is right now. She
Mhm.
works for like
Mhm.
Louis Vuitton. She's a model. She's a gold Olympic medalist. She makes like 20 million. Like she's crazy.
Whoa.
And,
She's crazy
and she's
in the
only
best way.
22. And she's only 22. And then going back to, to the real estate entrepreneurs, this is exactly what my husband does every single day. And let
Mhm.
me tell you, like when I met him, he wasn't doing this at all. Like he was a completely different person when I met him. He was not really critical of his thinking. All his relationships were not really like, he had like a lot of like broken toxic relationships. He was allowing a lot of toxicity in his life. He
Yeah.
was just there for the money, but only the money was his motive. And when he started to apply neuroplasticity, that means the basically how you think about your own thinking. Basically, he started writing everything down. Like, okay, why? How am I gonna get there? Like, what's the road to get there? He's a visionary, but he's also
Mhm.
implementing really fast, and he's writing
Right.
everything down. And this is not luck. A lot of the people will think, oh, he's just lucky, he's just smart. It's really not that. Like when I met
Yeah.
him, he was a little bit of a broken person in a lot of areas of his life.
Well,
And
entrepreneurs we're broken individuals. We're really good at
we
some
all
things, and the rest
are.
of our lives are a shamble.
Yes, but what are you doing to fix
Mhm.
yourself and to become that high level entrepreneur, that
Right.
multi-millionaire, that
Mhm.
person that is, looking great from inside, from outside? We lost 28 kilos
Mhm.
since you probably saw me, like not the last time, but the time
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, you look amazing.
We were not really healthy. Like, I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember us, but in our heads, we thought we were fit, but we
Yeah.
weren't.
Yeah.
And last year, actually, when we moved to Scottsdale, we started to apply neuroplasticity to lose weight. And
Really?
like, yes. And we lost 28 kilos. Like Nick, I think he lost like 20 kilos. I lost 28 kilos since like I had like the baby till now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not luck, it's really how bad do you want it, and how
Right.
conscious are you from the thoughts that you put into your brain every single day. And when you ask me what's really the difference between a high level entrepreneur and somebody who's just getting started, it's really how you break down your thought process. It's really that how you apply neuroplasticity to win. And let
Yeah.
me tell you, for somebody that is doing that, David, you're going to get so far. You're going to outwork every single person on your field just because you
Mhm.
learn how to control your thought alone. So
So
that's
that's something I say to people all the time, right? Like, how bad do you want it? You have to want it as bad as you breathe. And every single person says, I want whatever, the success, right? Or whatever it is that we're talking about. But what is that shift? Like, how do you go from wanting it to the implementing part, right? Like what is that shift that has to happen inside the brain?
yes, it's basically okay. What happened? I'm gonna just like explaining to you from what we lived, from
Mhm.
personal experience.
Yeah.
When you're not happy with the person who you are, let's say you don't have the money yet, you
Mhm.
have a broken relationship with your wife, you are probably a little bit overweight or underweight, whatever the case might be. You're not happy with who you basically you have so many things that you're like, okay, I want to be this high level entrepreneur, and you think it's all because of the money, but it's really not. It's who do I need to become in order to get to that level. And so when you're breaking the
Yeah.
pattern of I just want to be rich, it's like
Yeah.
a very shallow thing.
Right.
Instead of doing that, you replace that to who do I need to become to get
Fascinating.
there? Like
Yeah.
that's the shift. Like it's not
Yeah.
about, hey, I want to make, I don't know, whatever, 10 million a month. It's not really like only that thought alone is not going to get you there. And let me
Right.
tell you, the chances that you get are very slim. That like if
Hmm.
you just like if you just have the money as the motor, it's not
Yeah.
going to get you there. What really like the shift you're asking me for, the shift is an identity shift actually
Hmm.
that you need to have is like, who do I need to become to get to
I
that
love that.
level, to that person, to
Hmm.
that, I don't know, Grant Cardone level that I
Yeah.
that I want to become, because it's not only the money, it's like
Yeah.
everything: relationships, money, family, fitness, fun. I
Yeah.
always talk about, I talk a lot about the 5 F's, because
Hmm.
once you're able to switch to like, hey, this is me right now, but this is not, I'm not happy with who I am right now. Who do I need to become to get there? I need to be a
Right.
better person. I need to be more generous. I need to be probably serious at the gym. I need to
Mhm.
stop eating junk. I need to stop scrolling at 2 a.m. And I need to
Yeah.
start replacing everything that I am scrolling on with like,
Yeah.
who are the people that are actually there that I need to follow? It's
Hmm.
all a shift. It doesn't, I don't think it happens like overnight.
Yeah.
It's really like one day you are so sick of who you are and you're so like done with the person who you are right now,
Hmm.
that you're like,
Hmm.
if I continue to have the same loops, the same patterns, the same
Yeah.
thoughts, the same repetition in your brain,
Hmm.
you're not going to go, nothing's going to change in your life, I'm telling you now. But
Yeah.
once you start replacing this, is all happens in the mind, and it
Yeah.
happens from frustration actually.
Hmm. It
What
does.
Yeah, it does. It happens like, everything is broken in me right now, my relationships, my body, my food, my everything,
Mhm.
my finance. But this is not the person who I am today. It's not the person that defines who I
Yeah.
want to become. Because let me tell you something. When I started studying quantum physics, I
Mhm.
learned, and I started studying a lot about Joe Dispenza and everything that he's teaching. But he's basically teaching you also that there is a version of you in the quantum field that already has everything that you want. There is already a version of you in another timeline, because we're
Mhm.
talking about here different dimensions. This
Sure.
is the 3D where we're like, manifesting from the
Right.
physical, time is linear, whatever. But when you start to manifesting from the 5D and you start to connect and align your energy to the fifth dimension, and you start to pull all that energy into the now, because there is a version of you that already has everything that you want. You just need to basically level up the frequency to get to that,
Mhm.
stage, to that level, to the
Yeah.
energy. And then you become that person. You think that
Mhm.
the Alejandra 5 years ago is the person that is speaking to you right now? I was
Mhm.
a completely different person. I
Yeah.
was a lot of self-doubts. I had a lot of insecurities. We all do. That's normal.
Sure. Yeah.
But the shift, and you're asking me about the shift, David, is really, who do I need to become to
I
get
love that because that was a thing that I did probably in the fall. I really sat down on, what are the things that I wanted? And I was very clear and I had read this thing and I was like very, very detailed. But then I knew the next step was exactly what you just said. Who do I have to become to get that? Right. And then I was focusing instead of on the thing I wanted, I was focused more on, getting myself whatever to becoming that person, and
yeah.
that sort of lined up a lot of other things and created another interesting journey.
But look at you right now, and all that thinking is rewiring yourself for the
Mhm.
person who you are today.
Yeah.
I am not the person who I want to become yet. I have a long
Right.
way to go. Like, we're not there yet. But
Mhm.
really, the shift is you need to show up every single day as that version
Mhm.
of you, that version of David that already has everything that David
Mhm.
wants, right? I need
Yeah.
to show up as that version of Alejandra that already has everything that she wants. She's,
Yeah.
magnetic. She has everything going for herself. She has love. She has a beautiful family. She has money. She has abundance. And I show up every single day as that
Yeah.
person, even though, I'm not perfect right now, and I'm
Yeah.
far from perfect right now.
Everybody has bad days.
Show up as that person every single day. I take
Yeah.
risk. I do, I get out of my comfort zone and do things, speaking in a podcast in English when it's not my first language. These are things that are rewiring your brain for success. And it's
Mhm.
making you, it's building you, it's creating you a more powerful brain. And this
Yeah.
is the reason why my husband is the person who he is, because his brain is so powerful. It's insane. Like the way how he processes information and how he applies and he envisions, but he
Mhm.
also applies so fast is why he is where he is right now.
Yeah.
And I watched him grow from like a person that was not doing that at all to
Yeah.
what he's doing right now. And it's absolutely amazing everything that he's,
Mhm.
created.
So, and I've heard that before, I've of course been to lots of things, read, books, seen podcasts, but those negative thoughts, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I'm a whatever, we don't. I try to really keep that out of my brain because it's bad programming, but I hear it in other people. And what can somebody do to sort of start to pull that stuff out so they're not programming their brain, um, which ultimately sets them up for failure?
Exactly. And that is a great question, David. And I feel like every single entrepreneur in the world, especially when you're trying to build a business, needs
Mhm.
to hear this. I work with a lot of negative people, even let's not even go outside of my family, even inside of my family, there's
Sure.
a lot of negative people, and that's normal. I feel like everybody has that one or two, like cousins or
Yeah.
uncles or aunties, whatever, that are very negative. And I started studying neuroscience basically because I wanted to heal my mom. My mom was a
Mm.
victim of that. She had a
My
lot of
mother was terribly negative.
negative
Terribly.
thoughts, negative thinking, to the point, her brain was so rewired for negativity that she only saw problems in her life.
Mm.
And later on, in the beginning, you start to see it's creating your reality, but you're
Mhm.
attracting all this
Right.
negativity back to your life. But
Yeah.
in the long run, my mom started to get sick physically,
Mhm.
mentally. She started to have like signs of like
Mhm.
fibromyalgia, which is like
Mhm.
basically pains everywhere, like the
Yeah.
joints. um she basically started to feel like physically sick because of the wiring that she had in the brain. And so the reason why I started going through this neuroscience topic so hard was because I wanted to heal my mom. So basically, how do you deal with self-doubt? How do you deal with negativity? I
Mhm.
bought my mom this like elastic that she put on her wrist, and I told
Yeah.
her, every time you have a negative thought, you need to like pull yourself and like burn
Mhm.
yourself, like
Yeah.
hit yourself with elastic. And she thought it was a funny thing to do. It's actually a really stupid, it's a joke, right? But she started doing it, and she started to become more conscious to what her brain was telling her. Every time she will think, oh, I'm being very judgy, I don't feel good enough, I don't feel like I'm capable of making money, I don't feel like I'm capable of real love, I'm not capable of a beautiful marriage, all of these things, like she started to like, do this, do
Mhm.
this, do this, do
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
And then at some point, it sounds funny, but actually it really helped her to rewire her brain for positivity, because she was more conscious about
Yeah.
what she was doing every single day. Which, hello,
Yep. We're here.
I lost you.
Nope.
Which
I'm
was,
here.
oh, there you are. Which was basically creating her reality. And so by doing that, she stopped with the physical pain.
Really?
Seriously,
Hmm.
she started to have also 3 years ago beginnings of Alzheimer. She
Mm.
started to forget things, and this is something that runs in my family, sadly. But
Yeah.
she's still really young. She's only like 65 years old. But she
Mhm.
started to forget things. She started to like be very clumsy, and I'm like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, I'm not gonna let her go through this. Like, I'm gonna help her.
Right. It's hard.
And so, and I help her study neuroscience. I help her rewire her brain for positivity instead of negativity. She was the most negative person in the world. Now she's not, because she learned, and positive things are happening to her right
You
now.
can fix it. You can fix it.
Yes, and the Alzheimer, like, it's gone. She's not like that anymore. It's insane. Like, so
Wow.
you can fix yourself with thought alone. And this is something
Mhm.
that Joe Dispenza teaches in his retreats for like 7 days. We're actually going in Denver, Colorado in the
Oh.
4th of April with Nick,
Oh,
because I
wonderful.
really want Nick to start meditating, and I want Nick to
Oh, I
become
love
this
meditation.
powerful person, because he's
Mhm.
already has such a powerful brain. But I know that he learns how to meditate, he's going to go like way like
Mhm.
bigger and better. So yeah, to answer your question, negative thoughts can literally set you for failure. They
Yeah.
can literally attract all the negative thoughts into yourself, all the negative relationships. You're not going to close any deals because you're self sabotaging yourself all the time. You're
Mhm.
not, you're going to think that people like, I don't know, like David, like Nick, these are the only people that close like a lot of deals a month, and nobody else can do that, because that's really believe, but it's all
Mhm.
in your brain. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
It's all
know our
in your,
brains. You know, I've heard this before that our brains are wired to protect us. So don't go out
yes,
of the cave. The dinosaur is going to eat you, right? So in
yes.
all things that your brain is like, don't go talk to the person, don't make the phone call, don't do these things because it wants to protect us from getting hurt. But we would just stay in this little bubble and we could never grow, and that's not a good life.
Did you know that our brain is actually rewired to keep you safe and not
Mm,
necessarily to keep you away, to make the better decisions? It's
right.
really
No,
rewired to keep you safe,
right.
out of, in the comfort zone, in the bubble. And this is why
Yeah.
people don't grow. But this is the reason why people that use neuroplasticity to observe their thinking and to actually are very critical of their own thinking, these are the people that level up in life in all
Yeah.
the areas of their life. And this is
Mhm.
the reason why, this is the difference between a beginner entrepreneur to like a high level person like you or Nick. It's
Mhm.
really rewiring, and you can train yourself
Yeah.
for that.
So what are some of the things, and I'll tell you what I do. Maybe it's good, maybe it's crazy, I don't know. Besides the rubber band, when I go to bed at night, I go into YouTube and I put in like I am meditations. I put in, sleep hypnosis. In the morning, I try to I go Siri, hey, play me something motivational. And it brings up, you know, uh, Dr. Tom, can't remember his first name. Eric Thomas or somebody like that. And
Yeah.
I like that in the morning because it just gets me kind of fired up and focused. And you're responsible for your life, and nobody's going to do. You need to get out there and go do it. But what are some things that you recommend for entrepreneurs who are struggling? Because obviously being an entrepreneur is hard, right? It's like some days it's like pushing a boulder up a hill, and you have to keep your mindset right and fight through those problems, because the only way through it is through it, right? So we have to just push ahead.
I feel like the one thing that really helps people in your level, or people that want to be on your level, is every time you wake up, the
Mhm.
first 10 minutes after you wake up, the first
Yeah.
10 minutes, like there is like a line when you wake up and when you go to bed, when your subconscious mind is so sensitive that your brain is actually working while you're sleeping. So whatever you
Mhm.
see, the last thing you see at night and the thing that you see in the morning is how your brain is basically going to rewire yourself for
Yeah.
everything that you do in your life, like you through your whole day. A lot
Mhm.
of people obviously will live in a, like you said, entrepreneurs are very stressed. There is money in the line. There is cortisol levels through the roof because whatever the case might be, you deal with crazy people. I know what this business is like. But
Yeah.
one thing that you can do that is not so, it's hard if you're just gonna start doing it from the
Mhm.
beginning.
Yeah.
But you train yourself to do this every single day, you're gonna see amazing changes in your life. And this is the first 10 minutes when you wake up. Say something grateful. What are you grateful for? Being grateful, or like just rewiring your brain for gratitude. It
Yeah.
keeps your levels, literally, like this is like scientific proof,
Mm.
like it keeps you away from being depressed, it keeps you away from being anxious. And so when you wake up and the first thing that you do, instead of taking your phone and checking your reels, checking your Instagram, checking your emails, did the
Mhm.
wire come, it didn't come, what the hell was going on, screaming to
Yeah.
everybody on the phone. No, like the first 10 minutes, you say, I am so happy and so grateful that I from all the gifts that I have received in the past,
Mm.
and for all the gifts that I will receive in the future. And
Mm.
so when you do that, you're rewiring your brain to receive, those gifts. And then once you do that and you actually like start your day like, like calm, with no phone, no social media, go like, outside, be grateful. Like if you can go outside without your shoes and like
Mhm.
do a little bit of grounding.
Grounding.
Exactly. The first 10 minutes, like if you can basically like do that and hug a tree, whatever, or just
Mhm.
being without shoes,
Yeah.
and walking in the grass, it really helps your what is it your nervous system to really like rewire itself for gratitude. And also like you're going to be more relaxed through the whole day. And
Yeah.
at night, once you start, whatever, you finish your day, you're already like chilling, you're like my husband says a funny word, like when you're dimming down, I can't remember what he's saying, but you're basically chilling. You're preparing yourself for sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of watching social media, news, the Epstein files, this and the other. It's so crazy. Like everything that is happening in the world that is just contaminating your
Yeah.
brain.
I took it all off of Facebook and Instagram. I don't want to be around it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but the last 10 minutes after you do that, just, you be grateful. You say your affirmations, you be
Mhm.
grateful. You actually like start like, thinking about the dream life that you want, the relationships that you want. You start thinking, you start to visualize who you want to become, or like what's the ideal version of you that you want to become. And you go to sleep, your brain, your subconscious mind is going to be like thinking about that, like you're literally rewiring your brain to become that person. And for those 8 hours that you're going to sleep, 7, 8 hours, whatever the case might be, your subconscious mind is going to be rewiring yourself to become that person. But if you do the complete opposite and you're watching the news, the war, the Epstein files, you are going to have so much anxiety and you're going to have so much toxicity in your brain that your subconscious mind is just going to be on like firefighter
Yeah.
mode, or
Yeah.
like you're going to be
And
anxious.
your brain you can only do so much at one time. You can only do one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
I get it. People listen, I'm ADD. You can't. Your brain has to jump from thing to thing to thing. But
100%.
if you're worrying about politics and Epstein, and I'm not saying they're not important and it's
Yeah.
horrible, right? But like I can't affect it, right? And there was a time where after one of the elections, 12 years ago or something, I was so done. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
done. And I deleted all of it off of Facebook. I didn't go to Fox or CNN or I didn't do any of it. And it was probably like the best 3 or 4 months of my life. I had no idea the government even shut down. I'm like, I just didn't know. And I could take all that bandwidth and put it into my business. Right.
Yes.
And into the other parts of my life where I needed to focus. I think that's great advice for people.
Amazing. And
Awesome.
so a lot of people don't do that. So they should be more like you.
No,
They
I
need
know.
to train to get there.
It's thing I see people who I respect. They seem to be big business people, great business people, but they post online about just some of the silliest things all the time. And I'm like, how do you have time for this? How are you worried about politics on one side or the other? Like, how is this the most important thing? At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're taking time to post on Facebook about some of this dumb stuff. It's insane to me. I don't understand.
I mean, I feel like as long as you focus on really what matters, you have AI that can actually do your content these days.
Yeah.
So you can actually like train an AI to like talk about like all these topics while you're actually focusing yourself in really what matters and your
Yeah.
relationships in your business. So I feel
Mhm.
like we live in a world that you can get to do that if you really
Mhm.
like find how to do it. My husband does it. His whole content is AI, literally like
Yeah. I know.
99% of it is AI. And
Yeah.
he's not thinking about, oh, what am I going to post today? Because it's a waste of time. But he's
Yeah.
also growing a lot on social media where he focus his mind on is in his business, his relationships, his monies, his
Yeah.
training to become
Mhm.
that person that he wants to become. And so he's basically delegating to AI everything that
Mhm.
is social media,
Yeah.
posting, everything else. And
Yeah,
he's
and
growing.
I think that's what AI should be used for, to augment or implement or, amplify the rest of your life, right? To take some of that stuff off your plate. Before I let you go, because I know we went a little bit long, I apologize. But um, first off, you mentioned lots of things that people should be doing, but they should be following you, right? So where is the best place for them to follow you? Because you have so many reels and so much content and so much information out there. Where's the best place?
Of course, I am so passionate about this topic. You guys can find me on Instagram. You can find me at Alejandra Perry Official, actually.
Mhm.
You can find me on TikTok, Alejandra Perry Official, and you can find me on YouTube as well, Alejandra Perry Official. I'm
Mhm.
going to start doing a lot of long form content too, just because a lot of people ask me for this
Yeah.
topic. And I want to like really like dig into the long
Mhm.
form so you can guys like actually like hear everything that I'm doing. But
Yeah.
if you want to find everything that I'm talking about, everything from manifestation, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, neuroscience, how to level up as an entrepreneur, what kind of mindset should I have to become the person who I want to become, everything you can find on Instagram, TikTok, and
Mhm.
YouTube.
Well, listen, I would love to have you come on every month because I know I need all of this, and if I need it, everybody else who's listening needs it. And I think there's just so much for us to talk about because this is I think a neglected part of entrepreneurship where we just get so focused on the dollars and cents and growing and follower count and just whatever all of those things that we don't realize that the thoughts in our brain are really what controls all of it.
Exactly. I feel like everybody wants to be rich, but not a lot of people think about how to actually, who do I need to become? I need to have a regulated nervous system
Mm.
in order to become, to have to become a person that actually is capable of having all these millions and managing all these people and solving all these problems. And if
Yeah,
your brain is fried and your nervous system is cooked,
yeah.
it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get there. So
Mhm.
definitely it is neglected, and a lot of
Yeah.
people should put more focus into this. But like
Mhm.
I said, hey, the most important thing is that you want to become better. The most important thing is that you start being more conscious about
Right.
these things. And once you start rewiring your brain and use neuroplasticity to become there, you're gonna see amazing things in life.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
listen, thank you so much. Everybody, this has been an absolute incredible conversation. And what I love about everything we discussed is that this really flips the script on how we as entrepreneurs think about like growth, right? And how we can be better people. And, so many people are out there just trying to chase that one tactic or that one strategy or that one shortcut. But Alejandro, what you've shown us today is that real transformation, it starts in the brain, right? And that's kind of the first step. And if you don't get that right, nothing else is going to work. And when people understand how their mind works, and more importantly, how to train it, right, they can start to see those patterns that really will control your decisions and your habits and ultimately the results and get you to where you want to be. And that I think is the power of neuroplasticity. It means you're just not stuck with the mindset that you have today, and it can be rewired. You can train it, and you can become a completely different version of yourself over time. And this is what we see in the most successful people like you and Nick, right? You guys have done this and literally are just on a rocket ship, to heights unknown. I can't wait to see where you go. So
Well,
everybody, thank
a
you.
lot of people think that you guys are broke. Like, you're not broken. A lot of people think, "Oh, I'm broken. I need to heal." You're not broken. You just
Mm,
need to become aware that this is happening to yourself, and that you
yeah,
need to replace this by other stuff. And then it's gonna really come automatically once you start
yeah,
being more conscious about these things. But
yeah.
thank you so much for having me here, Dave. I am so
No.
excited to be here more, to give more value. I hope
Mhm.
you guys found a lot of value in everything that I had to say. And yeah, hopefully it's not going to be the last time I talk to you.
No, I wanna bring you in all the time. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of this with us. And for everybody who's listening, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you subscribe, drop a like, but really, this is the episode that you should be sharing with, the other people that are in your circle, and we'll be hopefully bringing her back. I can convince her to come back and do some more stuff with us because at the end of the day, right? Your business will only grow as much as your mind allows it. And so, everybody, we will see you on the next episode of the Closers Club. My name is David Olds, and I will see you at the closing table.
Bye bye.